To always get the latest Game Tea, do not forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook at The Game Tea Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at Game Tea Podcast X. We post memes, gaming news, retweet friends of the pod, and of course let you know when new episodes are available for your listening pleasure. Links are all available in the description of this episode, so check them out after the show, and thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast. Hello everybody, and a very happy Easter to you from the Game Tea Podcast. As it usually goes with holidays, we've got a few of the guys on break and a few of the guys traveling, so it's a perfect time for one of these nice little update episodes. So to get started with a couple of the updates we've got going on, first things first, the very next episode is going to be the 100th episode of the Game Tea Podcast. Now we're trying to figure out something fun to do because we just got done celebrating 1 year on the podcast a couple of months ago, and I don't know, celebrating a 100th episode after that kind of seems a little redundant, so we're trying to figure out something special to do that's not too crazy. We'll figure it out. We'll have something good planned. On top of that, a few of the other things that we've got coming up. Expect another appearance from Travis coming relatively soon. He even had a great segment idea that he wants to be involved with. So right now we're working out the details and we're seeing what he's going to do, but it's going to be a pretty cool episode. And we're trying to do more to reach out to Twitter followers as well and other podcasts to see if anybody else wants to come on the show. We're just doing our best to find some friends out there and see if there's anybody else that'd be willing to come onto the podcast. Speaking of Twitter, we are only like 8 followers away from hitting 1,000 followers on Twitter. Heck, by the time this airs, that's probably already going to happen. So thank you all so much for following us on Twitter. And if you're not already following us on Twitter, get out there and go follow us on Twitter. It's a good time. We're making more attempts to get involved with social media in general. Czar took up a job recently at like this really awesome podcast editing / like media production place that really teaches you a lot about how to use social media and things like that to your advantage. So pretty soon here, we're going to be thinking about different things we can do with social media. And that means getting more involved on Twitter, getting more involved on Facebook, and getting more involved on Instagram. Look, I've got nothing against Instagram. I love Twitter because I've got a lot of funny things to say, but I'm also ugly. And that's why I love Twitter so much. Instagram is the exact opposite of that, all right? It's pretty people with nothing to say. But hey, if it's what the people want, it's what the people want, and we will be on there relatively soon. On top of all of that, we recently got another Patreon subscriber, and we shouted him out in an episode, but we are thinking about other ways that we can get more involved on Patreon pretty soon. So we're going to be revamping that as soon as we all get back from break. So look forward to that, and look forward to seeing some new things offered on Patreon. And finally, we are also looking at ways to improve the sound quality of the podcast. So we're going to be working really hard to make the podcast even better over the next couple of months. With summer approaching, it's going to be a lot easier too, because I'm going to be on hold with grad school stuff until fall starts up again. And Czar and Peaches, well, you know those guys, they've never got anything going on anyway. And that's about as much as we can give for an Easter update. We will be back next Wednesday. So until then, thanks for listening to this little update episode, and we will see ya in the 100th episode of the Game Tea Podcast. Bye-bye.